Welcome guys! Today we're going to be talking about the most walkable neighborhood in Eau Claire, along with also the most historical neighborhood in Eau Claire. And so I'm standing here with Daisy. We're actually standing next to one of the 5 community gardens that are in Eau Claire. And so a little bit of history about this location. This has been an important place for Eau Claire's history for over 140 years now. So back in 1885, Demmler moved from Germany and actually built this house back here. And so this area specifically was a bunch of entrepreneurs and a bunch of early settlers during the forestry boom, built all these different businesses. And so this business specifically here that the Demmler family started was a greenhouse. So 6,000 square feet of greenhouse actually sat here at one point in time back in the late 1800s. And specifically what they did here is they had floral shops. They sold flowers, plants, and seeds. So it would have been really important for the agriculture and the development in the late 1800s when people are moving to this area. So if you can imagine, this area just was a hustling, bustling spot, one of the first developments. And another really important thing for you guys to know is all the history that comes along with the Third Ward. So back in the late 1800s when the forestry boom happened, all these different little economies and businesses started down here. So you had doctors, lawyers, physicians, a lot of lumber barons developing this area down here. And then we'll also be talking about the location. So one of the most important parts about the Third Ward is the actual location. It is the closest neighborhood to downtown Eau Claire. So from a walkability standpoint, if you're looking to move to the area and you're looking for easy access for things to do, there's Putnam Park, which is 230 acres of donated land. So over 400 species of plants, over 100 species of birds, and over 20 species of mammals actually recorded in the Putnam Park. So Putnam Park was also owned by a lumber baron in the late 1800s and then donated to the city of Eau Claire. And then in, I believe, the 1950s, it was actually donated to the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire. Third Ward here sits between the downtown Eau Claire, the 230 acres of Putnam Park, and UW Eau Claire, which makes it a very, very unique location in Eau Claire here. So we'll dive a little bit more into some interesting facts about Eau Claire. So yeah, like I said, this is gonna be our first stop of the day. Important city garden here, the Demmler house, which actually is used in Airbnb now. So if you guys look online or Google Demmler house in Eau Claire, it'll actually pop up as a VRBO that you guys can rent out for the weekend. And over here, one of the really nice aspects of the Third Ward is there is a ton of parks and different things to do. As you guys can see back here, this is named Demmler Park. So you got the Demmler Garden, the Demmler House, and Demmler Park. Figured I'd give you guys a little bit closer view of the actual jungle gym park here in Demmler Park behind me. So one thing I want you guys to make sure you stick around for is towards the end of the video, we're actually gonna be talking about one of my favorite aspects of this neighborhood. As we're doing our research on these old, interesting historical facts, I actually found out that there was a racetrack built in this neighborhood in the 1800s, which was later on developed into more housing. But there was actually a horse racetrack made, and there is still a curve in the road of the original turn of the original horse track that was made right here in the late 1800s. So make sure you guys stick around for that. We're gonna go to the exact spot where that track was built, and to me, it's a really cool aspect and unique feature of this neighborhood. I'm sure if you're moving to this area from out of state that you are probably interested in knowing a little bit about the housing market in this Third Ward neighborhood. So important thing to know, Third Ward neighborhood does have a lot of unique houses. So behind me, actually, this is a house I sold last year. I'm a real estate agent, so if you are thinking about moving to this area, make sure you guys reach out to me. I can help you guys find the perfect house for you. Whether it's the Third Ward neighborhood or another neighborhood locally, I can help you find something that works for your guys' needs. This neighborhood does have a lot of historic homes, and a lot of those historic homes are on the National Registry of Protected Homes. And there is once a year, they actually open up, I think, like between 10 to 15 of those homes. There's probably about 30-ish homes in this neighborhood, over 100 years old, that are on some sort of historic registry. which to me is a really cool thing. But house prices are gonna range anywhere between $200,000 anywhere up to over $1 million. A really unique thing that I think that people are gonna love about this neighborhood as well is that this neighborhood is very neighborly, if you say. They actually have a third ward neighborhood association, which they meet on the monthly basis, and a couple of things that they talk about: neighborhood thrift sale weekend. So everybody they all coordinate the thrift sale so people come down here and they get more traction that way. Another thing they do is they do a picnic, and they actually do it right here in Demmler Park behind me where we just walked through, which is really awesome. And then a couple other things that they talk about at the meeting is just any kind of zoning or safety hazards that they have going on, or anything real estate related to their neighborhood. All right, guys, now that we've talked a little bit about that, we're gonna go to the Putnam Park and show you guys around and what makes this place so special. So as we're approaching, Putnam Park actually surrounds one entire side of the third ward. And so I'm gonna drive into this one side entrance. I can't actually drive this direction, so but this is a great walking path, right? So if you're looking for a nice stroll with your dog, I think this trail is a couple miles long if you go from one end to the other. And you guys can see this is just a one way. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna drive to the other end and show you guys also how close the University of Wisconsin Eau Claire sits to the third ward. It literally butts up directly. So you got third ward homes, and literally right across the road is the University of Wisconsin Eau Claire. And let's go drive over there. So we're just driving through the neighborhood, and here we are. This is what makes this neighborhood so great. You're butted up against 230 acres of wildlife preserve, and you just have deer, and one mama deer and two fawns just hanging out in the front lawn, not very scared of us. This is a pretty common occurrence in this area. We just got really lucky today as we're out filming to have them this close, and wow, how cool. All right, guys, so like I said before, we are driving in the third ward here. Beautiful houses that are just bordering UW Eau Claire. Pretty awesome to see this. And so the entrance of Putnam Park is in the back parking lot of the University of Wisconsin Eau Claire's nursing school. Hey guys, we actually stopped at University of Wisconsin Eau Claire as we're driving through campus because we just realized that Chalkfest is this weekend and figured we would show you guys a couple of the examples of artwork that people are doing around here. UWEC campus is a very beautiful campus. I think it's actually been voted one of the most beautiful campuses in the state of Wisconsin. And I actually went to school here, and I have to agree with that. They've done a lot of improvements to this place, built a lot of really nice buildings. They're continuously improving their educational programs and the buildings that they're operating out of. And as you can see here, lots of trees and a lot of green. All right, we'll make sure to show you guys some of the examples of the chalk art that people have been doing. We just have some great artists around here. If you've watched any of my other videos about Eau Claire, you know that art is a huge part of the culture and just ingrained in everything that people do around here. All right, guys, we took a quick intermission at the Chalkfest at UW Eau Claire campus, and literally I'm gonna flip you around and show you right where the entrance of Putnam Park is. It's actually right over here, right behind those cars over there, and let's drive over there and I'll show you guys the trail. All right, guys, so here is Putnam Trail. It is mostly used as a walking trail. You see a lot of UWEC campus students walking down here from this end because the campuses are nearby. And it is also a driving trail, just so you know. I'm not driving down the walking path. But then from the other end, like I showed you earlier, that it comes right into the third ward, which is, I see a lot of people in the third ward just taking their dogs for walks down here. And as we're driving down here, I'm sure we're probably gonna run into some walkers and we'll have to give them a wave. Like I said earlier, Eau Claire was pretty much built during the forestry boom in the late 1800s, and So that's why a lot of these, like this entire area was owned by a lumber baron in the late 1800s. And then when the forests depleted of wood, so basically they logged the entire state of Wisconsin was logged. And another interesting fact that 1 out of every 6 logs during the lumber boom in the late 1800s in the United States, 1 of every 6 logs actually flowed down the Chippewa River going right through here in Eau Claire, which is really cool. And there's a lot of other facts and historical interesting points that you can find out by just Googling, you know, Eau Claire history and everything. And so yeah, this is actually a location of an old lumber baron's land that he owned, and then he ended up donating it to the city of Eau Claire, and under one condition, that it was never to be developed. So he wanted this to always be kept as a park, and this is smack dab in the middle of Eau Claire. And interesting enough, you have 230 acres of what you see here literally sitting in the middle of the city, bordering the 3rd Ward, all the way up to, and there's a big hillside here that goes up to the kind of more so the south side of Eau Claire and the campus. And so this is as time went on over all the years, that this was a pretty highly used and highly sought after and very unique aspect of Eau Claire. All right, guys, our last stop of the day is at a very special spot in the history of the 3rd Ward neighborhood. So, like I said before, the 3rd Ward neighborhood really got its start in the late 1800s when people started to build for the forestry boom. And so the quality of homes in this area are just insane. The people who were literally built Eau Claire and started the lumber boom in this area, built a bunch of homes in this area. So one of my favorite things I learned is that right behind me, you can see this weird shaped intersection. And it's so you can't, I'm not sure if you can really tell by this video, but on the corner of McKinley and what is the other street name here, Roosevelt. If you guys are making your trip to town, you're gonna wanna stop at this spot right here. So back in the late 1800s, there was actually a horse racetrack constructed right here. And legend has it is that this corner right here where there is a curve was actually it was the turnaround place for the horse races. So you guys can kind of see how this curves around here, and it's a really weird intersection that nobody understands. Well, now you understand why this is here, is because it was an old horse racetrack and a baseball field. So they had this little sports arena stadium here for people to enjoy in the late 1800s. And then sometime in the 1900s, it was actually, as you can see now, it was developed into homes. Very beautiful homes as well. So one of the most unique aspects of the homes in this area is there's a lot of wood features. So original wood flooring, wood hand railing, just a lot of very decorative wood aspects of these properties and homes. So if you guys are thinking about moving to this area, and this is an area that you might want to look at into buying a home in, make sure you guys reach out to me. I'm a real estate agent here in Eau Claire, and we help people from all over the world move to Eau Claire for many different reasons. The beauty in the area, the history in the area. There's a lot of hospitals that people move here for. So if you guys are thinking about making a move here, make sure you guys reach out to me. My phone number is down in the description. Make sure you guys subscribe to our channel so that you guys can see any updates of any other neighborhoods that we might be walking around, and watch all of our other videos that we're also talking about what it looks like downtown Eau Claire and what there's to do on a Saturday, and the south side versus the north side. So all these videos we're putting out there so you guys have a really good understanding. If you are relocating to this area, make sure you subscribe, and more importantly, reach out to us and we can actually help you get into some of these homes and check them out for yourself. You guys have a good rest of your day, and talk to you soon. Bye.